Hello, darling. It's nice to see you again, and thanks for joining me for today's video. I want to talk to you today about something important. Well, I think it's important. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I'm a YouTuber who's growing my channel and creating my brand. And although I'm not an influencer, however, because I have my own YouTube channel, I still need to be aware of the things that I say on my channel, because that could have an effect on people, whether it be in a positive or a negative way. Hopefully a positive way. And I started my channel because I wanted to help others. And I want people to know that my channel is a good channel where they can always come to my channel and rely on my channel for valuable information and knowledge, including tips, hacks, tricks, whatnots, and product reviews, etc. Like, for example, if I'm going to promote a product on my channel, I'm not going to promote a dad product, whether it be my own product or a sponsored channel, because I think that's important. I think if you're going to create your own YouTube channel, you want it to be a good, authentic, honest channel, because you don't want to mislead anyone, because if you do, that's going to be your downfall, and you're going to lose your channel in the end. No one's not going to watch your channel because you have misled people. And this is what I want people to know, is that my channel is just like a good, honest, authentic YouTube channel, where I'm not going to disappoint anyone in any way, or lie to my viewers, or whatever, and yeah, so I want my subscribers and my viewers to know that every time they come to my channel, I'll always have something interesting to say, or something important to say, or whatever. You see what I mean? And my niche is, how could I say it? Like, my niche is about overcoming trauma with van life, because I know that this is how I wanted to help people with my channel, because I know that there are many people, who have experienced trauma, who are homeless or on the verge of homelessness, and this is what my channel is about. And because I use my knowledge and my experiences to create my channel. Like, for example, as you know, or maybe you don't know because you're new to my channel, is that I'm a recovering domestic violence victim survivor, as I have mentioned in previous videos. And I found myself homeless after leaving my abusive ex-husband, because I had to leave for my safety reasons. It was a choice of either stay and die or leave and live. So that's what I did. I left so I could live, and I wanted my life back. But I wasn't expecting to find myself homeless. And even though I did go back to my parents' house, I couldn't stay there either because of my older brother who lives there, and he wouldn't stop sexually harassing me. So the only option I had was to move into my car because I wasn't working, I had no money, I had nothing except the clothes on my back, and I had to start all over again from scratch because, as you know, with domestic violence, you know, it's a combination of all different kinds of abuses, you know, physical abuse, mental abuse, sexual abuse, psychological abuse, as well as financial abuse. And because of the financial abuse, that's why I had nothing. I mean, when I first got married, I had everything. I had clothes, money, a car, everything. And the day that I left him, I had nothing except the clothes on my back, and I had to start all over again from scratch, just like so many other people who are starting their lives all over again from scratch. And this is where I want to use my experiences and my knowledge so that others can learn how to restart their lives all over again from scratch. And the thing is that, and I still can't believe I'm saying this, but now I have my dream life. Oh my God, I still can't believe how happy I am right now. I never thought I would, back then, I never thought I would be saying this, you know, but I mean, I know how hard it is to leave an abusive relationship. It's certainly not easy. I mean, dealing with domestic violence and getting out of an abusive relationship, in fact, it's the hardest thing that I've ever done in my whole life. And believe me, I've done some difficult things in my life. And it's certainly the most hardest thing that I've ever experienced, ever. And when I look back on that, I don't know how I survived that because when I left, oh my God, I was so close to death. At that point in time, I had just experienced a mini stroke from when he pushed my head so hard into the concrete balcony wall. I just put my hands on the back of my head and I just went down in a whole pile of pain. You know, when you're in that much pain where you can't move and you can't stop screaming and crying. And I was just sitting on the concrete floor for ages that felt like eternity, you know, like just screaming in pain because of the pain. And I knew something was wrong because I could feel the blood rushing to both sides of my face here. And I couldn't walk properly for a few months, and I couldn't talk, and it took me a whole year just to learn how to talk again. So I went back to my parents' place, and I'm like, you know, I felt so embarrassed and so humiliated, you know, because I couldn't talk. And, you know, so what I did was every day, when my dad brought back the newspaper, and then after I was moved into my car, I still ended up buying the newspaper, and every day I read the star signs in the newspaper. I read every star sign, all the 12 star signs. I read the whole star signs out loud. Every day I did that, every single day for a whole year, and I was just doing that to practice how to talk again, and I think that really did help me with relearning how to talk again, and it was horrible. And that took me ages to recover from, just from that alone. But the thing is, that there are other people who have recovered from strokes too. Not all strokes are caused from domestic violence. I'm just speaking from my experience, But everyone is different. But it doesn't matter what the cause is, because the outcome is still the same anyway. And so therefore I had to learn how to do things differently. You see what I mean? So there's always ways to overcome obstacles. And the way that we respond is also important too, if that makes sense. So my channel is about, how to move on, how to restart your life all over again from scratch, how to survive domestic violence, how to survive and overcome trauma, whether it be from domestic violence or a car accident or an illness or a natural disaster or whatever, and so therefore you could say my niche is about starting your life all over again from scratch with van life, I suppose you could say, because if I didn't have my car or my van, I don't know what I would have done, because the only way I was able to survive was with my car and my van, because my car and my van stopped me from being homeless on the street, if that makes sense. So therefore, if you're homeless or if you're on the verge of homelessness for whatever reason, because there's not many affordable housing available. Like here in Australia, we have a housing crisis too, just like there is around the rest of the world, because there's hardly any affordable housing available. And if you're not working, and if your only income is receiving Centrelink, and if you're on your own, there's no way, how can you afford to rent a micro apartment or a one-bedroom apartment by yourself? You can't, because all of your money that you get from Centrelink is going to go on your rent. And how are you going to live? You're not going to have any money for groceries or pay your bills or anything. And this is what I found myself. This is a situation that I found myself in after I left my abusive ex-husband. Before I left him, I thought I'll just go back home to my parents' place and everything will be okay. I couldn't believe I was so wrong. And after I went back home to my parents' place, I didn't want to go back there because I knew what was going to happen because of my brother, because he's always been like this, but I had nowhere else to go. So I thought, well, I'll just put a lock on my bedroom door and that will solve the problem. And again, I was so wrong, because, when I wasn't in my room, he was still trying to sexually harass me. Even when I was in my room, he was still trying to break into my room and knock on my bedroom window and spy on me through my windows. And I had to keep the curtains in my bedroom closed all the time. And it was just horrible. And the day when I was doing my washing, and I hung up the clothes on the clothesline, and that was the day when I caught him red-handed stealing the underwear off my clothesline. And that was the day that I knew I have to get out of here. And so, oh my God, it was just so horrible. So the only option I had was to move into my car. I mean, at least it was better than being in a domestic violence relationship and being in an abusive situation. I mean, at least it's the roof over your head. And I had Kaia in the car with me too. And that's when I thought, okay, I need to get a caravan. And I always wanted a caravan. But the thing is, I can't tow caravans. And at that point in time, I didn't even know about van life. I mean, I knew about tiny homes. And I was watching tiny homes on YouTube when all of a sudden van life came up, and I thought, that's so cool. I could do that. I could live in a van. And that's when I realised, well, van life would be better for me because I can't tow a caravan, but I can drive a van. And therefore, it was important to me, to get a van that was big enough and roomy enough to live in, but I could also park in a normal car park too. And I wanted a stealthy van so that I could stealth camp, because that's the only way I could survive, because if I were to pay for parking, somewhere to park my van all the time, like at a caravan park or wherever, I'm not going to have enough money to live on, because I've got to pay for gas, and I've got to pay for groceries, and I've got to pay for my van insurance and registration, etc. So that's when I realised, okay, the only way I'm going to survive is to do van life and live in my van and stealth camp. So that's what I did. And it was a bit hard at first, but you do get used to it, and you do learn to make it work for you. And so this is what my list is about. My list is about overcoming trauma, whatever kind of trauma you have experienced. Everyone has different experiences, But like I said, the outcome is still the same. So my list is about overcoming trauma, with van life and, starting your life all over again from scratch and creating your dream life with van life, because if you can't afford to find an affordable housing, you're going to need to find an alternative somewhere along the line, aren't you? And this is why, especially here in Australia, this is why van life is really popular, and why so many people are turning to van life as an affordable alternative lifestyle. And this is why I recommend van life, even though I understand that van life is not for everyone. And another thing that I wanted to mention is that when you're watching influencers, gurus, etc., it's important to be aware and to be wary, because not everyone is going to be honest. you are going to find occasionally there will be fake influencers and fake gurus, whether it be on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, etc. However, having said that, there are also many good, honest influencers and gurus out there too. Again, you just need to be aware and to be wary, because you don't want to be following someone who you think that you admire, and you think that, they're honest and that, and then you find out later on that that's not the case at all. Because the other day I was watching a documentary about this on YouTube, about fake influencers and gurus and that on social media, where they mention like about Bella Gibson. And now she's an Australian girl, who fooled the world with her whole pantry app and book, and she said to everyone that she had cancer and that she had cured her cancer by using alternative medicine therapies. And because of what she went and said, so many people who really do have cancer stopped taking their medication, and stopped having their chemotherapy and radiotherapy, etc. And that had devastating effects on their health and so many people's lives in a really negative way. And another fake guru that they mentioned was Kaia. I don't know if you have heard of her or not, but she was a former model who is now in prison for slavery and human trafficking. And again, her actions and her lies had devastating effects on so many people's lives. And the thing is, this is what happens when you believe in other people's lives. You see what I mean? And this is what I'm saying about my channel. I want to create a channel that's a good, honest channel, where all of my subscribers and viewers, will know 100% that when they come to my channel, they're going to get valuable information and knowledge about whatever, they're going to know that I'm not going to lie to them or deceive them anyway, like those other people have done to other people in the past, because I want to grow my channel into a really big channel. Hopefully it will, but it's going to take time, of course. And it's important to me that I use my channel and my knowledge and my experiences to help people in a positive way, because I too know what it's like to be fooled by people's lies. I too know what it's like to be traumatized. I too know what it's like to be homeless, and I too know what it's like to overcome trauma and start my life again from scratch and create a whole new dream life. That, oh my God, I still can't believe that I have created this life. I'm so happy. And I know if I can do it, you can too. But having said that, it's going to take time, and it's not going to be easy, and you have to be realistic. And the thing is, there's no way I could have created the life that I have now without my car or my van. You know, the only way, actually not the only way, but one of the main ways that I was able to create my new dream life was because of my van life, because my van life saved me from being on the street. You know, my van gave me a home when I had no home to go to. You see what I mean? And this is why I thought, okay, if I'm going to create my own YouTube channel, I want a niche that, a niche that, I don't know what to say. No, a niche that describes how I got from A to B and how I did it and all that, if that makes sense. So this is what this video is about, because I thought after watching that documentary, I'm thinking, oh no, I hope people don't think of my channel as being like one of them, one of those fake gurus or influencers, because I'm not. So I just want to make that perfectly clear so that all of my subscribers know that they can always come to my channel and know that they'll always get valuable, honest information, you know, honest reviews about a product. Like I said, I'm not going to promote a product, a dud product, and say it's a good product when it's not. You see what I mean? Because I've been there myself and I know what it's like, and it's not nice. It's not a nice feeling when you realize that you have been duped by someone. And again, this is where you need to be aware and to be wary of who's who, which is why it's a good idea to check out that person first, especially at the start. Like, for example, no one checked out about Bella Gibson. No one asked any questions about her until it was too late, until after she had done all of that damage. And this is why you don't wait until the damage is done before you check out that person or persons, you know, and start asking questions. You do it at the start, beforehand, because by doing that, that can save you a big headache later on. Like, for example, if all of those people who were following Bella Gibson, you know, if they had have, you know, checked her out first and asked questions in the very beginning, you know, they would have found out that she was lying, that she'd never had cancer. And then they would have realized, you know, oh, she's a liar. You know, I'm not going to follow her. I'm not going to listen to her. I'm not going to stop taking my medication and stop having my chemotherapy, you know, because of what she says, because she's a liar. You see what I mean? And, I mean, it's not just influencers and gurus and people on social media. I mean, it's also, you know, people, you know, in all walks of life. I mean, I'm talking about boyfriends, girlfriends, as well. You know, so if you're going to start like a new relationship with a boyfriend, or, you know, you just met a new girl and you've decided, okay, you want to be best friends with her and you want to have a friendship with her, and, you don't know much about her, it's a good idea to, you know, ask questions and to find out about her first to make sure that she's speaking the truth and that you're not going to believe in her lies, because this is what happens when you believe in other people's lies, whether it's someone on social media or a company selling a dead product, or a boyfriend, or whoever, or whatever. Like, for example, I need to buy a good air conditioner or a really good air cooler for in the back of my van here. Especially now that it's summer in Australia, and it's really hot here in Australia, and especially during the warmer months like summer and that. And there's no way that you can survive, whether you're in a house or in a van, without a decent air conditioner. And the thing is, I don't have the money to buy one right now, so I got onto Google and I'm looking at, portable air coolers, because I wanted something that I could buy for my van. Because now that it's really hot in the van, I can't stay in the van, and I can't have Callie in the van because it's too hot. And so I have to wait until I get the air conditioner in my van fixed, as well as buying a good portable air conditioner for in the back of the van. Because it gets so hot, you feel sick, you get terrible headaches from the heat, as well as dehydration and stuff like that. And so, when I was Googling about these portable air coolers, I come across the 12-volt IsoCube air cooler. And the way that this company advertised it, made it sound it was a great product. And it was only $180, and I could afford $180. And I'm thinking, oh, great, I'm going to buy this product. But I thought, no, before I do, I'm going to check it out first, just in case. And I'm so glad that I did, because if I had bought it, I would have regretted buying it, and I would have wasted $180. Because what happened is I couldn't find any reviews about this product, except for one, which said, oh, it's a good product. Now, you can't go by just one review. I mean, if you're going to buy a product, and it's only got one review that said, oh, yeah, it's a good product, still don't buy it, because that's definitely not enough information. And so what I did is I watched a video about this product on YouTube, and again, in the video, they made it sound like it was a really great product that works really well, until I got to the comments section, and that's where I learned the truth about the 12-volt IsoCube evaporative air cooler. And I read every single comment, and out of all the comments, there was not one positive comment. They were all negative comments, but at least they were honest comments. Which said, oh, this product doesn't work. It doesn't cool you down. Even when you have the cooler on, it doesn't do anything. And they also said that a $15 USB mini air conditioner works way better than this IsoCube air cooler. And that's when I knew not to buy that product. And so this is what I mean. If you're going to buy a product, make sure you find out as much information as you can about that product first before you make a decision whether you're going to buy that product or not. Because by doing that, it can save you a big headache as well as your money. And if you can't find any reviews about a product, just do what I did and watch a video about that product on YouTube and then read all the comments in the comments section. And I guarantee you will find the answers that you're looking for in the comment section of those videos. Okay, so that's another thing to remember. And I mean, like I said, I've learnt this the hard way. And I mean, when I was younger, I never used to question anything, and I never used to check out anyone and that. And I learned the hard way so many times about believing in other people's lies, and that's why now I always check out everyone first, whether it be a new friend or a product or an influencer on Instagram or whatever, And this is what I want you to do too, because by doing that is so, so important. I mean, this is what I should have done, but I didn't do when I first met my ex-husband. I just believed in his lies. And then I soon discovered via experience that he was a liar. He was an abusive person, a violent, mean, nasty person. And he almost killed me on several occasions. And, like he strangled me on 3 separate occasions. No, sorry, 4. On the last time he strangled me while I was asleep in bed. He bashed me, breaking my ribs. I was always covered in bruises. He's pushed the wall unit on top of me. This is why I have a bad back now. He stabbed me with a 16-inch kitchen knife in my left breast here, cutting me. He threatened to set me on fire. And then he said to me, I'm going to burn you, bitch, and then I'm going to watch you burn, and I'm not even going to piss on you to put the flames out. And then he gets his cigarette lighter and he lights the cigarette lighter and he leans over and he tries to light my dressing gown. And I just stood up quickly and I got my hands and I patted out my dressing gown like this in the flame. And I couldn't believe just that. Just for those couple of seconds, he left a burn mark about that big on my dressing gown. And the smell, oh my God, the smell was so acrid and strong. And, so I had to walk away and I went into the bedroom just to get away from him. Because every time I went near him, he would do something to hurt me. And, and here I was fearing for my well-being. And that's when I learned that just being threatened with fire is just as bad as actually being burnt from fire, And oh my God, but the thing is, if I had have checked him out before we got married, I would have found out, what he was like, because I did not realize at the time that this was just history repeating itself all over again, because he had already done the same thing to his ex-girlfriend and his first family. And, and by checking him out first, I would have discovered, what he was really like, and and then I would have known not to marry him, and I could have avoided the whole scenario in the first place if I had have checked him out in the first place. But because I didn't, and because I believed in his lies, I ended up suffering from devastating effects, which I'm still suffering from now, because now I have anxiety, depression, PTSD, including nightmares every single night. And this is what I'm saying. It's important to check them out first and ask questions and be aware and be wary, especially at the beginning. And this is whether I'm talking about whether it be a friend or a boyfriend or a company that's selling a product, like I mentioned about the 12-volt ISO Cube air cooler, or whether it be a guru or an influencer or whoever. You see what I mean? And this is what I'm saying, which this is why it's important to me that my subscribers and my viewers know that when they come to my channel, I'm not going to lie to them or deceive them in any way. When they come to my channel, they know that they're going to get valuable information and knowledge about whatever. If it's a product review, I'm going to give them the truth about that product, whether it be positive or negative. You see what I mean? Because by doing that, that's the only way that I can grow my channel into a big channel. And I want to grow my channel into a really big channel if I can. Hopefully I will. But like I said, it's going to take time. But that's okay. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, was it? So after I saw that documentary on YouTube the other day about those fake influencers and gurus, that gave me the idea to make this video. And I thought, well, I hope they don't think of my channel being in a negative way like that, because it's not, It's important. That's why, like I said, that's why I started my channel, because I wanted to help others who have been traumatized, who are homeless or on the verge of homelessness, and how even if you don't have much money, you can still live a good quality lifestyle by doing van life. I mean, van life has saved me, and even though I understand that van life is not for everyone, however, for some people it may be their only option, like it was for me. And in that case, if you have to do van life because you have to, but you're not really keen on doing van life, you get what I'm saying, don't worry, because you will get used to it. You will make it work for you, and you can learn to enjoy it, because I did too. And I know if I can do it, you can too. If I can start my life from scratched with nothing but the clothes on my back, and create a whole new life for myself, which has turned out to be my dream life. You can too. And I did that, by doing van life. I started off in my car, and now I have my van. As well as just do whatever you can do to survive. Even if it's just a small step, that's good. Any small steps is better than no steps at all. And I went to every services that were available who could help me at the time, including the homeless services, the family violence services. I went to all different charities and churches. And that's what you need to do too, because you're going to need people to help you. Even though you can do it on your own, it's still important to have support, because if you don't have that support, it's going to be a lot harder for you. Especially if you're overcoming trauma. So make sure you get some counselling or have someone who you can talk to, like a friend, or whoever. And I found that talking about my experience helped me too, but then again, because everyone is different, what may work for you may not work for someone else, and vice versa. Like, for example, it's not just me, it's also my son too, who has experienced domestic violence. And he too has anxiety, depression, and PTS as well, because he grew up in a domestic violence environment. And he doesn't like to talk about it. You see what I mean? So he deals with it his way, but he will not talk about it. You see what I mean? So it's important to deal with it your way. You get what I'm saying? And he used his experiences in a positive way, and he took advantage of that. And because he grew up in a domestic violence relationship, it made him very mature for his age. And so he has used all this to manage to turn his life around in a positive way, and he has created a dream life for himself. And when he was 16 years old, he walked the Kokoda Trail. He was in a band. He played the guitar and vocals in a band. He plays cricket. And now he teaches other people how to play cricket. He's a cricket coach. He's been promoted up in his job again. If he gets one more promotion, he's going to be CEO of his company. And now he's bought a house and he's getting married. And oh my God, I'm so happy for him. I'm so proud of him. I still can't believe that's my baby, But he had nothing, and he has just used his experiences in a positive way to create a whole new dream life for himself now. So, like I said, if I can do it, you can too. If my son can do it, you can too. And you will. But you're going to need to be patient. Do whatever you can do. It doesn't matter how small the steps are. Just keep going. Get in touch with every single services available, whether it be homeless services, charities, churches, etc. Just don't go to one or two churches. Go to every church you can. Don't just go to one or two charities. Go to every single charity that you can. Because the reason being, by doing that, the thing is, you don't know which one of those charities or churches or services is going to be the one that's going to save you and give you your life back. Like for me, in my case, it was the second domestic family violence services that I went to who gave me my life back. So if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here now and have everything that I have, you see. And the first family violence services centre that I went to, they didn't help me. So if you go to one services or charity or church or whatever, and if they don't help you, don't worry, don't give up. Just keep going, because you will find someone who will help you sooner or later. You just need to find the right one. So this is what you need to do, and this is how I did it. And this is how I'm telling you how you do it too, the same way that I did it. Okay, so I'm going to have to end this video here because it's been 51 minutes now. That's long enough. I wasn't expecting this video to go for so long, but you get the point, you get what I'm saying. So please subscribe to my channel to support me. I really do need more subscribers. And please give my videos a thumbs up. I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, please take care and of course, drive safely. Bye-bye, darling.